All right, back on the old Cooper mower, and this will probably be the last video on it. I hope to finish it up with this video, have it running, but I'm gonna put the gas tank back on the carburetor, and as I remembered, I thought these used two gaskets, and I did go down in my parts hoard and I found a package that had one left in it, and I have a whole ton of old. Every time I go to estate sales, if I see small engine parts, I buy them, and it's another one of my downfalls. But anyway, I'm going to reuse the old gasket and the new one because I looked in the microfiche and it showed using two gaskets on there, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the carburetor on. I might put the carburetor, I'm going to put most of the engine together. I might wait to put the new rope in the recoil. I'll just get it together enough, and then I can push the mower out in the sun. The sun will help bake the paint dry. It's acrylic enamel, you know, it's the same stuff I used on the body and the engine on the Galaxy. It's just actually in that gallon jug there, and it's got the hardener and all that stuff in it. So this stuff is pretty gas resistant. It's pretty hard to damage the paint. That's why I paint these engines with acrylic enamel, is because spray cans gasoline will just rinse the paint away. That's why this was probably all bare. My grandpa probably just used Rust-Oleum or something, and like I say, the gas just rinses it away, and the same with the carburetor. So now it's should be good. It's shouldn't come off, but then, you know, it's probably not gonna have much gas in it anymore either, because I doubt I'll use it that much. But anyway, I'm gonna start putting it together, and I'm not gonna video putting screws and stuff in. That's kind of pointless. Basically, it's all on. I filled the crankcase with oil so I wouldn't forget. The blade is on, which I don't know if it shows up under there or not, but the only thing I really need to do now is the air filter doesn't have any oil in it. I'm not going to put oil in it unless I go to use it, because it'll just spill out if I tip it. But I got to paint forgot to paint that and that, so I'll just do that a little brush with some of the leftover paint, because when Briggs painted these engines, they painted them assembled. The muffler would have been painted too, but if I run it, it'll just burn off and it'll get on here and may make a mess. So that's why I didn't paint the muffler. I painted the base of the J8 spark plug because that's the way Briggs originally did it. And I'm going to put the rope in the recoil, maybe put it on, and then I'm going to push it out and let it sit in the sun to dry. So a couple weeks we'll put the decals on. I like all the solvents to evaporate out before I put decals on, otherwise it just bubbles the decal. But yeah, the flywheel doesn't hit the mag where I glued it or anything, and the starter thing, catch thing, works as it should. And I oiled the bushing, the bronze oil light bushing in there, so it doesn't squeal. If you ever get one of these when you're running it and they squawk, it's because that needs oiling. A lot of the newer ones, there's a little metal thing, dish thing with a hole in it. You put some oil in there, there's a wick up in the top, and that keeps that shaft oiled. It's important, otherwise they just squeal like crazy. But anyway, I'm going to put the new rope in, throw the blower housing on. It'll be pretty much all done until the decals come, and then put those on, and then you'll see this video. Here we are, pretty much all done other than the decals. Yeah, it came out really, really nice. I painted the governor linkage and the spring quickly, and you can see the inside of I gotta stick this back on so it doesn't keep coming out. But yeah, look at the inside of the tank's nice and clean, and it's ready for mowing. I doubt I'll mow with it, but there we be. This gasket for the air cleaner, they call it a gasket anyway, it had long ago deteriorated and disappeared, so found a new one, put it on. Now I can install the air cleaner with a seal on it. Alright, I finished up the mower. My neighbors behind there are having a new 2-car 24 by 24 garage build. I think that tree is going to become history, and I think they're going to put an addition on their house too, and the patio. I was talking to him a lot here a week or so ago, but anyway, yeah, it looks really, really nice. I put it exactly where the original one was. As you remember, I showed it when I was bead blasting. It was right here. That's exactly the colors it was when I was bead blasting it. I remember the decal here on the air cleaner. I do remember that. I think my grandfather had painted over the blower housing part of the engine block, but when I got the mower from my grandpa, this decal was actually still on it. And it came off over the years, you know, just from wear and tear. But all the governor, everything nice and free. So we might fire it up today, put a little gas in it and fire it up. But I dug out all the original manuals for it. I'm just gonna go around and kind of show everything on it here. It's full of oil, clean oil. Anyway, I'll show you the manuals now. I keep them in this, folded up, and this is thing kept in the safe. And I do have the receipt, but I'm not going to show that as my dad's. There was personal information on it that I don't want to put on the internet. But anyway, this is all the paperwork. Let's see, I think there's more than this in here. Yeah, there's this too. So it came in this envelope. You can pause it if you wish to read it. So this is what my grandpa gave me. And I'm assuming all this is everything. And again, you can pause it all you want. Here, I'll see if I can get a little better close-up of it. Alright, there's that, and then there's this. Oh, that's the receipt. That's what you're not gonna see. Sorry. Because again, there's personal information on it that I just don't want to broadcast over the internet. The mower was $76 brand new. This is you know, some of their other models that they, you know, it's just a generic brochure they'd probably give to people that bought these lawn mowers. This is the mower here that I have. It's they came in 18 and 20 inch cutting widths. Now they show that decal on the front where the model, you know, this is just a artist rendition, but that's where the model and serial plate is on the front of the engine like they show it. And the decal was clearly there, as you saw when I was bead blasting the blower housing. So anyway, there we go. If you want to read this again, hit that good old pause button. Then this is on the engine. And it just kind of gives you, this is what the correct oil cap looks like. It's metal, and the gasket tore on it, so I couldn't find a gasket, so I put one of those plastic ones. I still have that oil cap. I'll see if I can find a gasket and maybe reinstall. I still have the original coil and flywheel too, which I'll save, you know. There's what oils it takes. It has 1030 in it right now. That's what I use. I have not put oil in the air cleaner. I suppose I could. But anyway, you know, if you want to just kind of pause, if you want to read some of the things on here, you can. I'll go through the whole manual page by page. I don't think it's very long. Shows different governor setups for probably different applications. Spark plug, points, how to remove the flywheel. They show the rope thing there. Flywheel puller, cylinder head, some important notice, parts index, and all the parts. Now if you're wanting to refer to this for part numbers, hopefully you have a big computer screen, because those are tiny. The writing is tiny on these. And again, just pause if you're interested in part numbers or whatever. A lot of parts for a little mower, isn't there? And that was it in the memos, the warranty. So there you go, there's the paperwork. I do have all the paperwork from this mower. My grandfather, like I say, my grandfather bought this mower brand spanking new. And so it's, you know, been in 65 years old. Most mowers last 5, maybe if you're lucky and really look after it, 10 years. So to have one that's 65 and still runs, and you saw the first time that crankcase has been separated was when I replaced that leaking gasket. So that motor has not been apart. I cleaned the carburetor obviously, and that was only because I'd left gas in it for the past few years since it got broken. You know, the deck got broken on it, got backed over by a car, pickup truck actually, 4-wheel drive pickup. But anyway, there we go. Let's put some gas in it and fire it up and see how it runs. Kind of made a folder thing to keep all this stuff in, just to, you know, keep it nice. You know, that's 65-year-old paperwork, 65-year-old mower. The paperwork is unrestored and still like new. The mower is restored and like new. And, you know, I use this thing. My grandpa gave it to me, I think, in 77, maybe 78, somewhere around in there, and I used it to trim. I had a tractor and I mowed with that, and then I would go around and trim with this. I used this thing until probably 2002, 2003, somewhere around in there, and then I retired it. And because, you know, they developed property that I mowed, and it's turned into a subdivision. So anyway, this is now retired again, but I took it out of retirement because my dad needed it, because he could lift it. It's very lightweight, and with his back problems he could lift it in and out of the truck and lift it around, and it was easy for him to use. It starts easy. It always took 3 pulls to start. That's pretty typical of it. As long as I've owned it, 3 pulls, you know, light right up. If it didn't start, if you pulled it 3 times and it wasn't started, then you had to, there was something wrong with it. So it used to get oil in the points every few years. That's why I switched it over to magnetron. About 4 or 5 years, it would just get a little film of oil on the points from that push rod that drove them. You just pull the point cover off, clean it with a little brake clean, put the cover back on, throw the fire right back up and run for years again. And I got fed up with doing that every few years, and that's why I put the magnetron on it. As you can see, I just put a little bit of gas in it. I just probably run about 2 hours on that. This thing's really good on gas. So I pull a choke, remove the spark plug thing, and hopefully it'll light up. Might have to adjust the engine speed on the governor once it starts. There, I think he'll stay there, which is a little lever there. Runs as good as it always has. think all the oil's burned off the muffler now. Well, there we go. We got a running 6B HS. Yeah, the muffler was soaked in oil from when it was tipped over and stuff with oil in it, and it had fluids in it, and the engine was just laying around, so it got knocked over and oil ran out everywhere. But anyway, there we go. A nice running 6B HS. I'll drain the tank out that little bit. It'll run, like I say, probably an hour anyway on that little bit of gas, and I don't want to let it sit here and run. Yeah, the crankcase isn't even warm yet. I might crank it up and let it warm up, and then I'll drain the gas. We'll see how it fires off warm, or burn it out. Okay, let me get you straightened out there. Briggs Stratton pull handle, it's just not the style this engine came with. Let me go get my digital thermometer and see what the temperature of the engine is. Definitely increasing in temperature. I will be restoring this 57 Cooper Cyclo-Mo. Hopefully get it done before the 4th of July when I need it. But yeah, I got a set of decals for this engine too. And so I'll get to work on that soon. I got more beads in my bead blast cabinet. So get time, I'll start blasting the deck so I can paint it and get the engine cleaned up and get everything painted, and we'll restore this one too. Of course, videos of it will happen. A little bit of gas I put in it, probably the engine ran a good 45 minutes. I just let it sit here and run until it quit, and then I took my air hose and blew the tank out so we wouldn't end up with a gummed up fuel system again like before. And yeah, it was pretty gummed up. So that is it. It's probably not going to get run anymore. I might put it in the trunk of the Bel Air eventually. It is a finished project. And I'm gonna dedicate this video to my dad. He his dad bought, my grandfather, he bought the mower new, and my dad in 1956 would have probably been in college, graduated from high school in 53. Put his way through college by driving chauffeuring the limousine governor around and whatnot. So yeah, he lived in Lansing, that's where he grew up, and that's where my grandfather bought this mower new. But yeah, this restoration project's dedicated to my father. I kind of wish that I'd got it done before he passed away, but I didn't. But I did promise him I would restore it, so it is restored. This is just for you, Dad, this video, 100% your video. I know how upset you were when this thing got broken, and it's all fixed now. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you like it, definitely hit the like button. If you want to see more projects that I tear into, whether it be mowers or cars or tractors or outboards or whatever I happen to be working on, subscribe to my channel by hitting that 348 engine icon that pops up there. And thank you for watching my videos.